To prove that he had once been injured while saving his girlfriend, the man called the director of the Royal Hospital and asked him to come immediately to the wedding venue to prove that he had really spent $35 million at the Royal Hospital treating his car accident injuries. But after waiting for a long time, the director of the Royal Hospital still didn't show up. His girlfriend Laura thought the man was joking and accused him of fraud, saying his only purpose was to trick her into marrying him, so she asked the police to arrest the man immediately. The sheriff looked at the spending records in his hand, which showed that the man was indeed injured, causing fractures and paralysis, so he wanted to persuade Laura. But the man's friend Jack firmly denied it, flatly saying all of it was fake, because with such serious injuries, the man couldn't possibly be standing here. He believed it was just the man's trick to deceive Laura. The reason Jack defended Laura was that 3 years ago, Laura had already been with him. Once the man was taken away by the police, Laura could marry him instead. Just then, the director of the Royal Hospital arrived on time at the wedding venue. Everyone was shocked as they looked at the man walking in, unable to believe he was truly the director of the Royal Hospital. But the director respectfully greeted the man. After learning that the man had been slandered, he angrily snatched the receipts from the sheriff's hand and held them up in front of everyone, saying outright that these bore the Royal Hospital's official seal, proving that everything was real. But Laura still refused to believe it, saying bluntly that the man was just the son of a janitor and couldn't possibly have $35 million for treatment. After all, she had been with the man for 3 years and knew very well he was just a poor man. But the director firmly told everyone that although he didn't know the man's true identity, he knew the identities of his sisters. The eldest sister was the youngest female general of the empire, the second sister was a Hollywood Best Actress, and the third sister was a famous stock market expert in finance. He bluntly said that someone like Laura was not worthy of being the man's wife. After hearing this, Laura became even more convinced the director was a fraud. Laura's mother disdainfully told everyone that they knew his 3 sisters well. Thinking of how his eldest sister was already 30 and still unmarried, she started to assume her conditions must be bad. Jack went further, mocking that the man's family only had 2 bedrooms, saying outright that if all his sisters came back at the same time, they wouldn't even have a place to stay. Looking at the 3 people mocking him, the man didn't care at all. He said directly that if he revealed his mother's identity, they would be even more shocked. But his words were met with a retort from Laura's mother, who mocked him while asking, "Your mother isn't the richest woman in the world, is she?" After hearing the man's affirmative answer, the mother immediately thought the man must be insane. But such words, except for the Royal Hospital's director willing to believe them, were taken as a joke by all the guests present. And Laura became even more certain that the director was the man's accomplice. Seeing that everyone was still doubting his identity, the director began advising the man to stay away from such greedy friends in the future, so he wouldn't keep suffering their insults. The man also agreed with the director's suggestion, saying outright that he would cut ties with these people and would change his bride. It would be the wealthy young lady beside him, Lisa, who had not despised him for being paralyzed. But Lisa's father strongly opposed, believing the man was just a poor fraud and not worthy of his daughter at all. Lisa's mother even grabbed her hand directly and tried to take her away. Seeing this, the man immediately stepped forward to stop them and pulled out his phone. He called his mother and asked her to come to the wedding venue, telling her that his bride was about to be taken away. Hearing the man say that his mother's helicopter was about to land, Laura immediately let out a mocking laugh. Laura's mother even accused the man of being a liar who loved to make things up and praised her daughter, saying that leaving him was the best choice she ever made. If she married him, she would bring shame to their family. After hearing this, Laura immediately became smug, even thinking that marrying Jack was her wisest choice. Little did she know that Jack's company existed only because of the man's mother's help, and that was how it gained its current status. But at this moment, Laura was still flirting with Jack, trying to use it to provoke the man, but the man didn't get angry. He calmly asked the waiter to bring him paper and pen, and in front of everyone wrote down words of renunciation, preparing to break up with Laura. But Laura's mother thought this was just another trick to deceive her daughter, so she wanted the sheriff to arrest the man right away. But the sheriff asked the director to produce his ID instead, otherwise he would arrest them all and take them back to the station. Seeing the ID and the official seal on it, the sheriff immediately became fearful, because he really was the director of the Royal Hospital. His attitude instantly turned respectful. After sincerely apologizing, the sheriff left the wedding venue with his men. Seeing the sheriff leave, Laura couldn't believe her own eyes, but she still believed the man was just a liar she had abandoned, and it was impossible for him to be connected to the director. But the director told everyone that knowing the man was his greatest honor. But Jack still refused to believe the man's identity, saying outright that if he truly had such a powerful background, he wouldn't be living in a rundown house. Little did he know that all of this was just a test of Laura's character. But on the very day before the truth was revealed, she gave up on on a man worth hundreds of billions. Just then, the doors of the banquet hall swung open again.